Hi, my name is Anna Odenwald, and I am in Miss Bumgarner's first hour art history class. And today I am making a video blog about an African art piece that I saw at the New Orleans Museum of Art. So, coming up on the screen now is the piece that I saw. This is the seated male healer / divine figure holding bells from the Bimbe peoples in the Republic of Congo, and it was made of wood and porcelain. So, as you can see, this piece is a small sculpture of a man about 6 inches tall. He is very idealized. He's wearing a mask and looks what's to be holding a circular black bell in each hand. There's indistinguishable iconography carved vertically down his chest, and he is sitting with his legs opened. This piece's vertical structure from its feet to his head brings the viewer eyes upward, making the focal point of the piece the symbols on the figurine's chest. The mask's chin comes to a sharp point, which creates a very strong jawline, which is also a symbol of strength. The piece is very symmetrical, from the identical arms and legs and bell positions to the simplistic mask, being the same on each side, and this creates a very stable and peaceful feeling. The small size would have been most likely for convenience, so that this figure would have been something that is easy to carry about, probably with the healer. So by looking at the piece's ID, I can infer that this figurine's function is spiritual and political. This is a figurine of the healer in the society, one who is believed to have divine powers. His wearing of a mask also emphasizes that fact, since wearing masks is what has been seen in other African societies as a symbol of importance and virtue, of someone who takes on another identity or encompasses spirits. So the political function can be seen when thinking about how the healer was someone who had power and status in that society, and was divine. He most likely had the power to make decisions and have influence, since he was the one that many people were putting their trust in and looking to connect with the spiritual world. So looking at the Bimbe people, a figure like this would have been very important and sacred to them. This society was polytheistic and very spiritual. Figurines like this would have been made by the priest and given as offerings to the ancestors, and actually made in idealized images of these ancestors. The figurines also often identified the ancestors as medicine men or healers, both who were leaders in the society. The bells the figurine is holding most likely represent something that the medicine men would use to get in touch with the spirits and heal people. The people in the Congo believed strongly in the power of their gods and ancestors, so the figurine of the divine healer who was in touch with the spirits would be very important to the people. So as soon as I saw this piece at the NOMA Museum, it immediately reminded me of another piece that we have studied in AP Art History, which was very cool. So I'm going to show you a picture of that piece as well. And this is the Nikiski power figure sculpture. And it was made out of ceramics and was also made in the Democratic Republic of Congo, in the 19th century. So looking at these two pieces side by side, you can see they're very similar. They both are idealized images of men about 6 inches tall. And as the Met Museum says, they both represent preceding authority or enforce the hand of the king. So they're both there to protect the people. But the Art Institute of Chicago said this about the power figure specifically. They said that they control and contain spiritual forces, and was used as a tool for curing illnesses, punishing criminals, and protecting from enemies. But that the specific form of the power figure was very important. And that's a big difference between these two pieces, is that for the healer, we know its profession and function immediately, while for the power figure, it's much more broad in what its function is. William Siegman from the Brooklyn Museum said that for the healer, the hands of the males were turned towards one another and were carrying something that stated their profession. So for the healer, we can obviously see with the bells what their profession is, while for the power figure, it's not holding anything. For some reason, whenever it was created, it did not have a specific function like the healer did. And there are many reasons for that. One could be that at that time when the healer was made, there was a huge plague or famine, and many people were sick and needed healing. And so a figurine like this would have been created. I'm not sure, but there could have been many causes for that. Another huge difference in these two pieces is that when looking up information about the healer, there was so much about it being carved in the images of the ancestors and how the ancestors were what it was encompassing. While when I looked up information for the power figure, there wasn't almost anything at all about ancestors and about any identity, that the power figure was encompassing. Also, this is reiterated by the fact that the healer is wearing a mask while the power figure is not. This shows that the healer actually was taking on another identity, which was the ancestors, while the power figure was not, which is very interesting and could again be a number of reasons of why this tradition changed over time. Maybe whenever the healer was being made, the priests of that time really looked up to the ancestors, really saw how they had succeeded. I'm not sure. Just like with so much of art, it is so very speculative for why things changed and the reasons that so much changed. So for the healer, I could never find when it was made. Everywhere I looked, I never found a date for when this specific piece was made. So I'm not sure about the time difference between these two art pieces, but I know that there are distinct differences in them for one reason or another. But looking at both of them, there are also many, many similarities. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog and learned a bunch about some different types of African art and the power figure and the healer and their function and how they were important to their societies. Thanks.